unto God. You know, this thing got to be acceptable unto God. You know, God don't accept everything. Don't let nobody tell you that he does. You know, I'm going to serve God my way, and you serve him yours. No, you're not. You're going to waste your time. That's what you're going to do. Because either you're going to do it his way, that it might be acceptable to him, or you are going to waste your time. You decide. Go ahead and read on.
And be not conformed to this world.
Now he's saying, don't be conformed to this world, meaning living in the ways of this world. Go ahead and read.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Wait a minute. What did it say here? But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Go ahead and read.
That ye may prove what is good. Prove that is proved, may prove that is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
That you may prove, in other words, demonstrate what is acceptable unto God. That's why I said, be ye transformed. First, by the renewing of your mind. That's the first step. You know, you got to have a change of mind. You know, you can't continue to think like you thought the way you were when you were in the world. So now, that you might demonstrate what is acceptable unto God. Let's go now to Ephesians chapter 4. And we'll begin reading at verse 17. Ephesians 4. And we'll begin at verse 17. Ephesians 4 and verse 17. So this is the first step here. You ain't going to make it to that body if you don't get past this. Ephesians chapter 4, and we'll begin at verse 17. 4 and 17. 4 and 17. Okay, go ahead and read.
This I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of God through the ignorance that is in them.
See what I'm saying? Being alienated. You know what that is? Separated from the life of God through the ignorance that is in them. Go ahead and read.
Because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness.
You know what lasciviousness is? That's unbridled lust. Go ahead and read.
To work all uncleanness with greediness. But ye have not so learned Christ.
Go ahead.
If so be that ye have heard him, and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Jesus.
They said, but you have not learned Christ, if so be that you have heard him, and that have been taught by him. Go ahead and read.
That ye put off concerning the former conversation of the old man.
You know what conversation is? Lifestyle. He said that you put that lifestyle off concerning the former conversation, the old man. Go ahead and read.
Which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. And being renewed in the spirit of your mind.
But see what it says, but be ye renewed in the spirit of your mind. Go ahead and read.
That ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
Wait a minute. That you put on the new man, which is after God is created, it said, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
In righteousness and in true holiness, it said. Go ahead and read on.
Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor.
Now, this is the new man here that he's talking about. You got to put all this old man away. He said, now, put away lying. Speak every man the truth unto his neighbor. Go ahead and read on.
For we are members of one another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Now, he said, be ye angry, but don't sin. And if you should get angry, then don't let the sun go down on your wrath, because now you're dealing with a grudge thing, and God has a law saying thou shalt not hold a grudge against thy brother. Right. Go ahead and read on.
Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more.
Go ahead.
But rather let him labor, working with his hands the things which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth.
Go ahead.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister a grace unto the hearer. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption.
Go ahead.
Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another.
Go ahead.
Even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you.
Now he said, even, you know, say forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. You know, so however the Lord do things, that is how you are supposed to do things. If you ever expect to be in his image then, right?
Right.
Let's go and look at it again. I'm going to show you what Peter said. Because Paul here just told you about the true holiness, didn't it? Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 1, and we'll begin reading at verse 13. 1 and 13. first thing the Lord got to do is create the man of God in you. That is what he's working on now. He's working on creating the man of God in you. Because before you can get the body, you got to get the man. Because if he gave you the body and then give you the mind, you'll be another Satan. You'll be walking around here a spiritual being, and if God didn't put a stop to you, you'll destroy everything. That's what Satan does, didn't it? Yes, then the Lord called him to destroy. Yes, I believe in the Greek language where he is to destroy in the Greek language, right? But I believe in the Hebrew language where he's to destroy in the Hebrew language. And if God gave you the body of him without the mind, then that is what you will be. You'll be to destroy as well. So first thing the Lord got to do is create the mind of God in you. That is what he's working on now. Look at what Peter said here. Start reading at 1 Peter 1 and began at verse 13. 1 and 13. When you get it, go ahead and read.
Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober.
Gird up the who of your mind? Gird up the loins of your mind. Go ahead and read on and be sober. That means of a sound, that's what sober is, of a sound mind. Go ahead and read on.
And hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ.
And wait a minute, he said, hope to the end for the grace that shall be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Go ahead and read.
As obedient children.
As what kind of children? Obedient. As obedient children, it says here. Go ahead.
Not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance.
You know, not fashioning yourself according to the former lust when you was in your ignorance. You know, you remember when that was. You know, when you was out there in the world doing every crazy thing that came in your mind. Not fashioning yourself according to that. Go ahead and read on.
But as he which have called you is holy.
Wait a minute. As the one that have called you is holy. Go ahead.
So be ye holy in all manner of conversation.
So like the one that called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of lifestyle. You got to get that first. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, you'll never get to that body if you don't get past this. So now, if you got to be like, you got to be in his image, right?
Yes, sir.
So now, if the one that called you is holy, he said, now be ye holy in all manner of lifestyle. Go ahead and read on.
Because it is written.
Because it is written. Go ahead and read.
Be ye holy, for I am holy.
Because where is it written? It is written throughout the Old Testament. That's where it is written. And every time he said, be holy, he gave you some kind of law to keep.
Yes, sir.
Be ye holy, keep my dietary law. Be ye holy, keep my Sabbath day. Be ye holy, don't steal, don't lie, don't do none of that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So now, as the one that has called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of lifestyle. Because he wants you to be just like him. Look at what Jesus said. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. We're going to pick it up at verse 43. Show you what Jesus said. Matthew 5, and we're going to pick it up at verse 43. Matthew 5, and we'll begin at verse 43. Lord, trying to develop in you the man of God first. Because if you don't develop that, I promise you, you'll never make it to that next level. I don't care how much you know. If you don't first get the man of God, look at what Jesus said here. Start reading at Matthew 5 and began at verse 43. 5 and 43. Okay, go ahead and read.
You have heard that it had been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy.
Now you heard it been said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. This is Jesus talking to you now. Go ahead and read.
But I say unto you, love your enemies.
Go ahead.
Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you.
Go ahead.
And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
You know, Jesus even did that when they crucified him, didn't
they? Yes, sir.
They just got